Hello, and welcome to another video. And first off, thank you for the support. I've gotten way more than I thought I would. 2K views on one video, that's insane. But I just want to thank you guys. And anyway, this video, or should I say this series, or what I want to be a series, is going to be basically on the basics of editor. In this series, you're going to be building a difficulty chart, which I'm not too fond of them, but it's a very good starting base because it teaches you quite a bit about the basics of building. So I'll be teaching you like buttons to press, rotation snap, position snaps, colors, probably a little bit of animation, but I'm probably gonna do another series on that, which might be like a boss fight or something. Who knows? I do, but but let's just jump right into it because I'm actually pretty excited to start this series, and I hope it helps a lot of you. Whenever you join an editor, it's gonna look something like this. You have the skybox that you're ending. If you look down, you have to start with this stone pathway. And your hands are going to look pretty different from what you remember. Now, let's just get movement right out of the way. Everything you need to know about movement. First off, it's very, very similar to normal gameplay. You press grip, pull back, let go. And you can do it with both hands and then you move. But you don't have any slide. You can also move up by doing just like up. Basically a full range of movement. Now, let's say you're getting tired of it being so slow. That's where sizing goes in. First off, you're going to put your hands out like this, press grip, and then pull in, and let go. Now, you're much bigger. You can do that as many times as you want. You can also use it to rotate. You can do the opposite, in, grip, out, to shrink, and that's pretty much everything you need to know about movement. I don't know, I would recommend trying to get good at this as fast as you can, because it's very, very good. You can also just go right through blocks, so don't worry about that. Alright, now let's get the first button out of the way. Or first two, I should say. First off, if you press the Y button, you're going to go into testing mode, which is just you're a normal player, and you can run, jump, all that stuff, grapple. Now if you press it again, then you're going back into editor mode. Now people call this player mode and editor mode. You should have that in your mind. It's not that important. Now if you press the menu button, which is the button with the 3 lines right there, or would you just do that, it'll open the menu, which you should be pretty familiar with if you've played the game at all. We'll get into some of this stuff later, and this stuff probably that in the next video. But let's start actually building. Now, first off, whenever you first start building, what I would recommend is to try to change the sky. Now, to do that, you have to just take your little cursor, that's what I'll be calling this for the entire series, and just tap it on the ambience tab. You don't need to press trigger or anything, just let it tap, and you should move a little bit. Now, that'll bring you to all of these sliders. Now, the sky color will be like that blue. The horizon would be that white, and then the sun position would be where the sun is. Now, fog is probably something you shouldn't worry about, because if you turn that up, then you'll see it makes it very hard to see, so that's something you want to do last. Now, for my level, I'm going to be making the sky and the horizon the same, making them probably a little bit darker, because it makes it just easier for me to see, because this kind of hurts my eyes, but you can experiment with it and do whatever you like. Alright. Now we got the sky situated, we're going to get our first blocks down. Now, you can delete this starting platform if you want, you don't have to. Personally, I don't usually for a while for some reason, but in this case, we're just going to delete it. Now, you could go in and grab each block and then press B, the delete button, or you can just select all 3 and delete them all at once. To do that, you have to hold trigger on either one of your hands, it doesn't matter. And then if you point the joystick that you're holding on the hand that you're holding trigger on left or right, then you'll see a red bubble grow. And anything that touches this will be selected, and you'll notice because they get highlighted and you see all these around them. And you can do that with this hand too, but I personally don't because I have really bad stick drift on both my hands really, but you know. So you could do that, select all of them, grab them by putting your your cursor in it and holding trigger, then you can pull them around. Now you can press B, the delete button, and it only works on this hand, which is kind of annoying sometimes, but still. Now we're going to get into building our first block, which will be this. Because it's a difficulty chart, we're going to want to make it, give it like an outline and make it into G-tag like movement, which for the rest of this I'm probably going to be calling fling mode or no legs mode, because when it first came out I called it no legs mode, or it was called no legs mode, but they changed it to fling mode, but my mind can't comprehend that. But anyway, so first thing you want to do is you're going to look up here at your menu sliders up here. This is your position snap and your rotation snap. Basically how much a thing will move and how much the thing will rotate every time you do it. Now because we're making a straight platform, you're going to want to change your rotation snap to 90, and then we'll keep the position snap at 0.0625 for now. Now you're going to want to grab this white block, and if you don't, I mean, you're going to be able to see it, but this is a good thing to get out of the way. If you go see one circle, but you're like, where's the other circles? There should be one of every block besides these ones. If you just put your trigger on it and then go up, you scroll, and you can do this until you find the cones, and then you have to scroll back up. Now we have a cube. It looks like Blender. First thing we're going to do is we're going to want to size it up. Put both of your cursors in it, press trigger on both of them, and pull out. Basically like you're sizing yourself, but it's the block. Alright, so this is a little too big for a basic platform, as you can see. So let's just do the opposite. Sorry for any background noise, by the way. You put both triggers in, press trigger on both of them, and size it down just a little bit. And now that's a pretty good size, I think. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. And there you go. And now, but it's a cube still, and we want it to be like a rectangle. So you're going to select it just by hovering your cursor in it, and you're going to see these. The green arrow, as you could probably tell, is for moving. So if you put your cursor in it, press trigger, it'll move. And then the red circle is for rotating, which if it's 90 degrees you can't see, but I'll turn it back to 15, because 15 is a pretty good baseline for most things. Now if I rotate it, you can see it's getting rotated every 15 degrees. Now the one we're looking for currently, the blue square. If you do this, then it'll shrink it down. Now let's go up to about there, I think. That looks like a pretty good platform. But if you've played any difficulty charts, you probably know that they have gray outlines, or black sometimes. Now, to do that, we have to grab another block, and we can shrink that down probably to about there. I think that's probably a good size. And then to color this to gray or whatever color you like, you select it, just hovering your cursor in it, tap selection, and then you're going to see all these colors, and you can use these colors. Also, these will be gray for you. These are just my saved colors, which I'll probably go on a different video. And we'll get into color this in a second, or not in a second, probably a little while. But the one I want to show you is the simple right here. If you click that using trigger, it'll bring you to this advanced color wheel, which will give you practically every color that you'll ever need. Now I use this quite a lot, but you don't really need this for now. And then you can click advanced again, or this button again, and then it'll bring you back. But for this, I'm just going to do this color. And now we can do it and select it and pull it all the way over here. But let's say you want it to not be so thick. So you select it, turn your position snap just all the way down to 0, and then you can do the green arrow on the top and go down until it's just above that. Go on the side until it's just above that. But as you can see, that's happening. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but it's bugging out over there, and that's because it's too close. So you just want to bring it out a little bit more, and then there you go, it's really flush. Now you can also do the other sides. And there you go. and then you have one corner done. Now, this is something I want everyone to know because it'll help you if you're duplicating another build from somebody else with their permission, obviously, because I want to be nice. If you select it, and if you hold the duplication button, which will be A, and then grab the green arrow, it'll duplicate the previous block without moving without moving it at all. Now you can do the same duplication thing with sizing. So you select this, hold hold A, and then grab the blue square and just size it down to however much you need. And then as you see, I'm putting my hand inside of it, or where it should be, because if I don't, then that'll happen. But if I do that and do that, it'll stay because I'm actively selecting that. You just pull it down, and now you can size it down to exactly how much you want, which is about there for me. And then you can hold A, and then duplicate it over, and then just size it there. Now, you are probably wanting to select all of this and duplicating it over here so you don't have to rebuild it. And you're going to try to select it, but you select the main block. To stop this, you can go inside of that, and then you can't select it at all. So you can just select all those, and then you leave, and then you only have those selected. Then you hold A, green arrow, and then there you go. Now we got to just get the size one, which I will show you a really good thing. So you can go in here, select both of those, and then you have those. And then if you hold A, and then rotate, and then hold A, and then grab the red ring on the top, then it'll just do that. And then there you go. Now, this is where I'll get into the type. So if you select all of this, let's say you don't really want them to be super dull like this, you can press type, default, and then click that, and it'll go type neon, which this will just be very bright. However, I want to give a big disclaimer. Do not, and I mean do not, use this for everything. It does not look good, and I've never seen a level with everything being neon get verified. Never click it again. It'll do type transparent, and you'll see it says 13 or however many blocks through 20. This means you can only have 20 transparent blocks in a level, so we're not going to do this, obviously. Now if you type it again, it'll just go right back to default, which I'm going to use it as. Now if you go on it, it's a pretty good platform, I'd say. But it's not that locomotion type fling mode that you want. Now you can use the wood block, or the cheese or the rock block, whatever you want to call it. But in this case, I'm going to use the wooden block because I don't really know. But just get it aligned to the top of it. So you can do something like this and just make it like that. And then just size it over this way and you get it aligned over here. And then size it over this way and then get it aligned over here. And then you just size it up. I recommend doing over like the size of this. And then go down, which you can also just grab the top one to go down if you really want to, but for this case it'll be easier. You see there, I made a little mistake, so I can just size it in a little bit, because even the best of us make mistakes at building. Building is pretty difficult at times. So you size it to where it's good on the bottom, and then you just size this down. Okay, now we can grab this, as you can see. If we press grab on it, then you can grab it. But it doesn't give us that fling mode that we want. Now, to do that, you have to grab this clear looking block, which it'll have a bunch of particles. If I size it up, you'll be able to really see them. Now undo this, go to selection by just tapping it, and then click mode default, and it'll turn red, and it'll say fling. Now if you go in and if I put this over the block, go in it, then you get the fling type movement. But you don't really want these particles, so to do that, you just want to make it really big. Yeah, okay, so now if I go in here, it's just completely fling mode and there's no particles. And as you saw me do, saw me do just there, if you get lost, which I'm not lost, I know where it is, but you can press the menu button again and then click respawn while you're in editor mode, and then it'll spawn you either where the world spawn is or where your start is if you have one. Now you built this, now you don't want to lose this. So to do that you have to save. So you press the menu button again. Now I'm going to move it up because it's really low for me. Anyway, so you want to click save, and then you'll be brought this up. You can enter the level name, the creator, and a description. For now, let's just do name, which you can do whatever, but I'm just going to do tut diff chart. And then I'll set 0 checkpoints. And then you can set these for now. You don't need to right now. And then just click save, and then it'll be saved. And now you can click edit to go back to this, and then set image, which will bring up a camera, and then you can just take a picture, which I'll just do a picture of that, and then use photo, retake photo. And I want to use this photo, and then it'll be right there. So if I click open, then it'll say tut difficulty chart, and then you'll see the picture. There we go. Now let's select all of this, and so we don't have to select it every time we just want to duplicate it and make a new platform. We can go to selection and then click group, and then it'll have a greenish tint, and every time we select it, it'll all be together. Now I would say we can start building the map right now, but I would recommend getting your palette of sorts. So for this, I'm going to make 5 difficulties. We got the start, easy, medium, hard, and then very hard. That's very basic, but you can add as many as you like, but I would recommend just scale the difficulty. Now we can ungroup all of these, and then let's say I want this easy to be green, but then this gray doesn't look that good, so we can go in and change them all to dark green, which I think, yeah, pick that one. Now I'm just gonna do this real quick. There we go. Now you can do something similar with these, but I'm gonna make this one yellow. But here's a little tip: the basic yellows in this, they do not look good. So I recommend going to simple, and then doing about that, and then just making it that yellow. Just that looks really good. Now I am going to save this by going to your color wheel, which this will be all gray, and then clicking on holding trigger on it while you have that selected, and then you'll save it. Now I'm going to go here, make it that, and then make it a little bit darker. Sometimes it'll do that, don't worry. And then just saving this one instead, and then here we go, we got that. Now you can do a similar thing for every one of these. So this one's going to be hard, so I'm going to do red. And this one I'm going to make very hard. I could either do dark red, or if I can never select it, I'm going to do black. And then, well, let's say I want a darker black than this, I can just go into this and then do that. And there you go. And then I am going to I'm going to color all these. 3, 2, 1. There we go. They're all colored now, and now we can go ahead and group all of this stuff, which is not very difficult. Now they are all grouped, and now would be the time we can probably start. However, I would make a few more things. In a lot of difficulty charts, you can see towers, which they have a bunch of stuff on them. And if you want to make something like that, you want to go 0.125 physics depth, although it doesn't really matter. Get a cylinder, size it up to the point you want to be, and then it depends on what you want to do. But for this tutorial, I'm going to have it have a round top. Once you do that, keep your position snap at the same thing as you did that one. Grab a sphere, and then just size it up until it fits perfectly onto there. Use this for a lot of things, but it looks very nice. But I don't want it to be perfectly round. I want it to be more of a stuff like that. So do something like that, and then there you go. And then we could change it. We can duplicate it. I mean, over to all these, and they can make like that one. You get that one, this one, and then this one, which I'm gonna make this one a little bit grayer. There we go. Then we got all the towers done, which we can go ahead and group. And there you go, you got your bigger palette ready. So now, let's get started. You can, for this one, I'm gonna do a very basic start. It's just gonna be basically just a duplicate of this. And it's just gonna be bigger, and then there you go, you got a pretty big platform, but I'm gonna make it slightly bigger. There you go, I'm just gonna do this, although you can do whatever. And now, in most difficulty charts, they have these towers that show you all the difficulties. To do that, we're gonna take our block, make it about probably that thick, make it about kind of wide, take a sign, which is the top thing right there, and then just get it like right there for now. Select it, press this little pencil and paper icon, click that, and then you'll be able to type on it, which this one will be beginner. It's not gonna spell beginner. There we go. And then you probably want it to be look better, because this doesn't look the best, if I'm being honest. Now to make this look better, hold on. Let me make it straight. There you go. You want to set your position snap to 0, and then just put that like in the middle-ish. And then this is pretty difficult, but it makes levels look much cleaner. You can slowly make the sun go in until it just shows the text. And this happens because if I make a little example right here, if I get really small next to it, the text floats slightly above the sign. Like, this is the text, this is the sign. And just doing that, you could do stuff like this. And then if I just duplicate this up, which I'd recommend going back to like 0.625, might not work, but you know, doesn't always. And I'm just going to change this to like P or something. It doesn't really matter. It's just so I can easily delete that and type a new thing. But I'm just going to go in here and manually adjust that to where it's clean. And I'll have a little bit of like glitchiness probably, but when you're player mode, you can't even notice that. So just go in and just make all 5 levels. Now that we have that, we can go in and just change all of these to be the text that you want. Okay, now that you got that, you can probably group it together and then put it just down there. Now this looks pretty good. It'll work for if you're trying to make just a very simple thing. But if you want it to look a little bit better, or at least what I think looks better, you can ungroup it. Take this and just like pull it up. Pull this down. Make this probably like a square like that. And then you can set your rotation snap to 45, which is a little over halfway. Pull it down, rotate it, and then you can do something like this, which you can size it until it fits this and kind of like a roof. Then you size it back so it doesn't clip through, and then just move the sign down, which this might not work very well, but And I mean, you can usually probably make it look better, but in this case, it's pretty difficult to. So, okay, that looks fine. You do something like this, and then it just kind of looks like, I think, in my opinion, it looks better. But for something like this, you could probably make this neon and get away with it. Yeah, that looks very good. But as you can tell, neon makes things lighter, so you can probably try making things like them darker if you want to. Which I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in here and yeah. You can make it, just go in there and make it all a little bit darker. And then there you go, they're more accurate colors, which, there you go. And then we can go in, and I'm gonna make the first map here, and then I'm probably gonna end the video because I got a lot. So I'm going to rotation step 90. And then you can do something like, oh, I forgot to fix that. That's my bad. You can go in and just make a very basic level. And then at the end, you should probably add the start of the next one, which will be a slightly bigger version of this. And then you should probably just duplicate this. And then remember, do not size things if they have a sign in them. It can bug things out, although there is a way to get big signs. We're not going to cover that in this video. You could probably that. There you go. And then you got the start of the next one. Now if I want to go test this, I'm going to have to stand up here. Gonna go into player mode, and then you can just jump around a new level. Probably make it easier than that because that was not a challenge, but still. And there you go. You made your very, very first level. Now you can go ahead and save this again by opening your menu, and then just pressing save, and then there you go. You can set a new image if you would like, but I'm not going to. And then there you go. Alrighty. I hope this helped because I had quite a lot of fun making this actually, and if you guys like this, I'll make a second one, but I'm probably gonna make a second one anyway. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.